What's happening in Year 11? Today's task is similar to yesterday's task. It's a revision 1 on different types of ratio questions. Okay, so again, what I've done is I've highlighted which clips these correspond to on Negative Maths, and then I have set you one of them. And what we'll do is when we finish all these, we'll do a quick your turn, my turn on that type of question, and then you can go and complete that as well. So what I'd like you to do, pause the video, give yourself a few minutes, have a go at each type of these questions. Remember that when you're doing ratio questions, what do you always draw out? Hopefully you all said blocks then. So have a go at doing these questions. One of them you won't need to draw blocks out for. Think about which one and what you're asked for in each question. Pay close attention to what you're told, because you are given very similar information in 3 of them at least. So have a go at all 4 of them. Pause the video, have a go at all 4 of them, and then we'll go through them. Okay. Right, so hopefully you've had a go at these. So this first one, let's read through it together. Steve and Ryan split £210 in the ratio 2:5. How much does each person get? So let's draw a little diagram out. Steve and Ryan in the ratio 2:5. That means Steve is getting 2 blocks and Ryan is getting 5 blocks. Okay, so there's Steve's 2 blocks, there's Ryan's 5 blocks. Now, once you've got those diagrams, what you then have to consider is which blocks represent the £210. Is it Steve's blocks, Ryan's blocks, the extra blocks that Ryan gets, or all the blocks in both rows? Well, if they split the 210, that means that's the total. So it means that that 210 needs to be shared into all of the blocks. So we need to do 210 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 21 divided by 7 would be 3. 0 on the end. So it means that 30 goes in each block. Okay. So how much does each person get? Well, Steve gets 2 30s, so that's £60, and Ryan gets 5 30s, which is £150. And I can tell that's right because 60 add 150 takes you back to the £210 at the top. Okay, now that is the easiest type of ratio question. That comes up quite a lot on exams and stuff actually, and that is clip 332. So if you looked at that and you thought, oh, actually, you know what, I don't know how to do that, please go and have a go at least one of them questions on clip 332 on Negative Maths, just to make sure that you can do it. Okay, right. This one, this is clip 334. Very, very similar information. Steve and Ryan split some money in the ratio. Immediately then, it's different from this one, isn't it? Because this one we were told they split that amount of money. So the 210 there was the total. This time it's saying some money. In the ratio 2:5 again. And Ryan gets £210 more than Steve. We want to figure out how much Steve gets. Okay, so let's draw out our diagram again. Steve and Ryan, 2 blocks, 5 blocks. Now, Ryan gets £210 more than Steve. So the £210 this time is the extra that Ryan gets. So it means that that must be represented on the diagram by these 3 blocks there. Okay, so those 3 blocks must represent that £210. So we need to divide 210 this time by 3 to see what's in every block, which is 70, isn't it? Now, once you know what's in one block, you know what's in all the blocks. And we're being asked this time, how much does Steve get? So Steve gets those £270, which is £140. Okay. Right, that one is clip 334, and it's that type that I'm asking you to have a go at today. Those are the trickiest ones to spot, I think. Okay. Right, so this is clip 333. Again, going to be very, very similar information. So let's make sure that we read it very, very carefully. Steve and Ryan split, again this time, some money, which means that we don't know the total, like that one. In the ratio 2:5, Ryan gets £210. How much do they get all together? Okay, So again, the difference this time is this sentence. Ryan doesn't get £210 more than Steve in this time. He gets £210 himself. So let's see how that plays out on our diagram. Okay, so there's the diagram. Right, if Ryan gets £210, which blocks must that be? Well, it must be all of these, mustn't it? His entire row then must add up to 210, sorry. So if all of those there add up to 210, I need to divide the 210 into them blocks. How many blocks have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to divide 210 by 5. Okay. 5 into 2 won't go. 5 into 21 will go 4 times with 1 left over. 5 into 10 will go twice, which means 42 is in every block. Okay. Now we know that Ryan's row adds up to £210. Steve's row, 42 add 42 is 84. And it's important that because we're being asked here, how much do they get all together? So all together, I need to add that to that one. So I need to do 210, add 84. So all together, they're going to get 4 and 2, £294 altogether. Okay. So in terms of like exam questions, and I know you might be thinking, say, shut up, we're not doing exams anymore. That's not entirely off the cards. By the way, they might decide to put something online for you or something like that, or get you to an assessment somehow. These are really, really popular. Okay, so those types of questions are dead important. Right, this one is the different one. This is clip 329. The table shows Steve and Ryan's income from their Saturday jobs. So Ryan gets £10 plus 10p per paper, and Steve gets £5 plus 15p per paper. Okay. Express as a ratio the income of Ryan to Steve. So we want this as R to S if they both deliver 150 papers. So, and we want our answer in its simplest form. It's very important. Okay. So this is all about writing a ratio and then being able to simplify it. So let's take Ryan first. Ryan has £10 plus 150 papers that he gets 10p for each. Now, if we're keeping that as £10, I'm going to write the 10p as 0.10. So that's 150 times 10p's. Okay. So let's figure this part out first. We have bid mass. 150 times 0.10 means effectively that's £15. So that's 10. Add 15, so we get to £25. Okay. If you're a little bit worried about sort of doing that in terms of a decimal, think about 150 10p's. Well, you know, 10p's is a pound. How many groups of 10 if you've got in there? You've got 15. Okay. Same thing with this one. You want 5 plus 150 times 0.15 this time. Now that's a little bit trickier, isn't it? So let's do 150 times 0.15, and let's do this underneath here. So that's 150 times, and let's just do it in terms of 15p. 5 times nothing is nothing. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 2, sorry, 5 times 1 is 5. Added 2 is 7. 0, 0, 5, and 1. So we're going to get there 0, 5, 12. So can you see this? And then 2. And then because we've got 2 decimal places there, we need 2 decimal places here. So that's point going to be there. So that's going to be £22.50. Okay. So, and then we need to add, we need to do 5, add that, don't we? 5, 150 times 15p is £22.50. 5, add £22.50 is £27.50. Okay. So, that's how much Ryan gets, which is £25. And this is how much Steve gets, which is 27.5. Okay, so if I want that in its simplest form, I've got a problem immediately with this 0.5, haven't I? I need to get rid of that. So I need to times both sides there by something to get rid of it. So I think the best thing to do is probably to times them both by 2, because that'll delete the half, won't it? If I times this by 2, it's going to give me 50. And if I times this by 2, 20 times 2 is 40. 7.5 times 2 is 15. So that's going to give me 55. Okay. Now I've got them both as whole numbers, as integers. I can now think about what I can divide both of those numbers by. So we're both in the 5 times table, aren't they? So if I divide them by 5, I'll get 10 to 11. Okay. So looking at that as a whole in that task, these three were all asking for blocks because they are ratio sharing questions. Okay. Give you the ratio, give you how much, give you a number to put into it somewhere, and then ask for another number out from it. This one was different because it gives you some numbers to deal with and some formulas to deal with and stuff, and then says, right, write this answer in its simplest form. I think the only tricky bit there was getting to the £27.50. Okay, so don't panic too much about that, but that's clip 329. Right, the one that I've asked you to do, the Hegarty Maths clip, is this one, 334. So what we're going to do is a quick your turn, my turn, that I'd like you to have a go at in your books or on this, and then you can go and have a go at that on your own. Right, Caroline and Sarah win some money and share it. So straight away, they win some money. Don't win a total, so we're not sharing a total, and they share it in the ratio 2 to 1. So let's draw that out. So Caroline and Sarah in the ratio 2 to 1, which means Caroline gets 2 blocks and Sarah gets 1 block. Caroline gets £45 more than Sarah. How much did Sarah get? Okay. So that means that the extra block that Caroline gets must be worth £45. So that block there is worth £45, which means that £45 must be in each block. So how much did Sarah get? Sarah got £45. Okay. Right, Colin and Dan win some money and share it in the ratio 2 to 1. Colin gets £42 more than Dan. How much did they get altogether? So this one is very similar to the one above. It's giving you the same ratio, but this time it's asking how much did they get altogether. So remember just to pay attention to that final part. So Colin and Dan share it in the ratio 2 to 1 again. So Colin is getting 2 blocks, Dan's getting 1, and Colin gets £42 more than Dan. So that extra block must be worth £42, which means that all the blocks must be worth £42. How much did they get all together? Well, 42 add 42 add 42. Let's add that all up. 2 add 2 add 2 is 6. 4 add 4 add 4 is 12. So altogether they got £126. Okay. So as you go through this, these will get a little bit trickier. The ratios will get a little bit more difficult. So they may end up being like that. Remember, if what you're told in this part, the £210 more, is representing three, a few different blocks like it is there, then make sure you divide it. The reason we didn't have to divide it this time is because there's only 1 block more there. Okay, so go and have a go then, please, at clip number 334. Set your it on Hegarty already. Any issues, let me know. Good luck.